Good morning, everybody. I wanted to start this video like this so you can see and you notice this, yeah, this thing, my thumb is now over. Oh, you can't tell with my thumb there. But that's a crack in my lens cover, but it might not just be my lens cover, it might be the whole phone because Jerry was looking at it yesterday thinking we would just replace the lens cover or the protective cover that goes over the phone, and she realized there's like these little around the edges where the phone cover ends, there's like crack lines. So, yeah, I have a new phone on the way. So, it's either A, I do videos like this, or I try to turn my phone around and hope this is better. Um, I'm gonna flip it back around so the crack is gonna be in the way. So, hold on a second. Now I can lean to the side of the crack. The bright light you're seeing through that crack is actually because of the lighting in this room. I'm going to finish the video like this. I want your opinion on, would you prefer me to try to videotape not seeing myself and then you'll see this, but you all will see the actual crack line. We'll see what happens. Excuse me. I want your take. Now, I figure if I can get the crack line to the side so you can see my whole face, that might be better. Um, I did a video last night, and I went to edit the video, and I realized, guess what? All people are going to see is the door to this room and hear me talking. They're not going to see me. So I decided not to publish it. So that's why there wasn't a video last night. It has been a crazy Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Today is Friday. Yesterday was a little bit on the crazy side because I came home from work Wednesday and I totally and utterly forgot to leave the keys to our ice locker. Now, without those keys, they cannot fill the ice inside the store for people to purchase. Of course, one of the things that happened as soon as I got there was like, oh, did she call you? We kind of need help. And I'm like, no, she didn't call me. And no, I can't help. I've got too much going on. Too much of my own is going on. I'm sorry, I'm a little fidgety. Um, my alarm originally went off at 10:30, and I didn't feel like getting up. I was too tired still, so I slept for an extra 15 minutes and got up because it's like I have to get up. I have to start my day. If I don't start it on a proper note or as soon as possible, things are going to get pushed back. Now, even though yesterday we had a late start because we had some iron running around to do in the morning time, we got some stuff done in the craft room. So that's started. We're going to hopefully finish it today as well as get started and maybe finish on one other project for fixing up the house for Jerry's party. Now, excuse me. I I know I put in a lot of work and I do a lot of physical aspects of work. For the most part, in Jerry's craft room, she's gotten most of it done herself. I've just been there to basically move stuff around and, you know, get stuff for her so she can work on it. Because of it's not the amount of stuff I want to say, it's what we've been doing basically is we've gotten all the new stuff together, and we're taking a look at the old stuff, and we're purging stuff that is either no longer usable or Jerry just doesn't see anything in sight to use it for. So it's not like she's got a big clutter of stuff all over the place, new and old. It's right now, it's just trying to transfer the old stuff out and the new stuff in, and then decide what to do with the old stuff. So far, 90% of the old stuff that we've come across has been basically purged. It's basically in a giveaway pile for a friend of ours who takes it and gives it away to those who do crafting items, or if they're items that don't need to be crafted, they just want it. Now, there are two different locations here in Rolla that would take old crafting stuff and basically resell it or use it. Unfortunately, because of the whole epidemic, whatever you want to call it, that's still going on, and it's actually getting worse in some places because they force. I'm like my sister-in-law who lives in Vegas. Um, she was going to come for the birthday. She decided she doesn't want to because it has gotten so bad in Vegas that they're considering reclosing various things because they pushed it too fast. Um, which personally, not just Vegas, but the whole U.S., I think we did it a little too soon and a little too quickly. Um, I understand why they tried to, but I think they just basically put us, not just things, but us in danger again. Um, Not gonna point fingers, not gonna blame any political party or any medical group or any government system. I just think that in whole, um, a lot of places a lot of states opened too soon and too quickly. Just for example, I've already heard two people within the last 24 hours talk about, should say more than 24 hours because it was Wednesday the last time I was at work, but I've heard people at my job talk about two other people that they knew that came down or have been classified as positive, which means they have the coronavirus. Now, my mom's friend, um, she went for testing. Now, here's the thing. This is what I learned through our friend. You go to get tested. You are asked to basically self quarantine for 14 days until your results in to see if you're positive or negative. She at first thought she was positive, um, which kind of made me not paranoid but a little concerned because I also had to go and get mom's car. So when we got mom's car, we went and sprayed it down with Lysol and disinfectant and whatnot before I even got in the car to drive it. That was Wednesday. Now, later on Wednesday evening, she got her results back and she was negative. She corona free. Great. But the thing is I've heard of cases in Phelps County, my corner, my part of Missouri. Um, Cases since we reopened everything up has literally doubled. Now, is that because of the fact that we're doing more testing, or is that because of the fact that we're having more people actually come in? We don't. I don't know. I don't know why our caseload here in Rolla, Missouri, has doubled. But out in Vegas, it's like 10 times worse than it was before everybody started closing things down. Again, is that because of the fact that more people are testing, or is that actual numbers of people who are actually contaminated? Don't know. But it's it's one of those things where it's like, do you get paranoid because of it, or do you just continue to be mindful? I'm trying not to be paranoid about it because I do get a little like, what? Um, I'm being mindful of it because I work a front line. Well, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not an EMT, police officer, or anything like that. But I am considered one of the front runner. Front. My job is considered an essential job, which means I'm in the forefront of the possibility of sorry, getting sick. Um, Thankfully, knock on wood, um, so far the only thing I'm showing signs of is seasonal crud. Something I deal with every year. But I've been told that if I show signs of weakness or actual illness, um, what did they say? What did someone say? Flu-like symptoms, and I'm kind of like, well, allergies show flu-like symptoms: runny nose, congestion, sore throat, coughing. I already have all that. I don't have the fever. I don't have the shakes, the chills, the weakness of just being upright. Um, I've only had the flu 2 times in my life, and both those times the flu was caused by the actual vaccine. So, yeah. But anyhow, I'm trying to make this short today because I want to get things rolling. Um, so today's plans is to basically finish up in the craft room and then start on another room. The rooms that I know that we have to do is living room, kitchen, dining room, and guest room, and then just a couple minor things in our room like last minute cleaning, which is basically the sheets, floors. Hopefully, have the dusting and whatnot done before then, or just, right? Yeah, no. I forgot what she's got marked down for last minute. But I know things like vacuum the house, um, and there's not very many carpets. It's one, two, maybe three carpets to vacuum. That won't take me more than 30 minutes to an hour, depending on my the charger on my cordless vac. But we have everything written down what we need to do, and we're trying to do it in stride. Um, I have a feeling the next 2 weeks, I think it is. Um, 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 um. Here it is. Trying to find my calendar. That's way too far. There we go. Here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got. Well, as of 25th, which was no 24th, excuse me, which was this past Wednesday, I have 2 weeks before the people arrive. They're supposed to get here on the 8th. So I have roughly just under 2 weeks to get everything done. So I have a feeling the next 2 weeks, basically, or whatever, um, try to do little projects before I go to work, try to do little projects before going to bed. Um, it might sound like a complaint, but it's not. But that means if I do it the way I think I need to do it, I mean, it means less downtime for me, less goof off time. Let's just call it a spade, goof off time, which is fine because after the 13th, either the 13th or 14th, everybody leaves, including Jeri-Ann. She's going down to. She originally was going to go to Vegas, but since her sister from Vegas is not coming out to us, she doesn't think she's going that direction, which she's sad about because of the fact that means she won't see her nieces, but she's happy about because of the fact that less money to worry to calculate. But she is going to take a road trip down to Texas, which means she'll be gone for a week, maybe two, when she goes to Texas. See what happens. I don't know, but it is what it is, and I'll just ride the wave, I guess you'd say. Anyhow, let's go ahead and do this Bible verse real quick, and then probably sign off from there. And let's see here. It says here for June 26th, it is from Psalms 138, chapter 8. No, verse 8. I'm sorry, I get those backwards sometimes. Anyhow, it says, the Lord will work out his plan for my life. Yeah, he will. Sometimes I might not like it, but you can't really fight it. I mean, to a certain extent, it is what it is, and there's no real way to fight it. But for the most part, I found that I've looked at I've looked. Okay. I look back on my life from time to time. I quite frequently look back at my life, and I go, well, that could have gone better, or well, I didn't exactly plan for. I didn't exactly want that or plan for that. And then there are times where I'm like, wow, those were fun times. Those were good times. I had time in my life. I had good things like that. For the things that happen that are good, you sit there sometimes and thank God for them. I know there are times where I forget to, but in the back of my mind, I know it's not all me. I mean, I only do what I can do. The rest of it is up to Him, you know. But yeah, in all things, good and bad, they're not on your own schedule. I mean, yeah, you can make certain decisions that are good or bad. The outcome may or may not be to your liking, um, but all you can do is live your best, do your best, be your best. The outcome could determine your next course or your next chapter, whatever. Um, but in all truth, we are not 100% in control of our lives. Um, there are most likely, because there's always somebody who thinks I am my own master and I am my own boss, or I don't answer to anybody. Well, you know what? I have to say this wrong. We all answer to somebody in one way or form or another. Whether it's your supervisor at work, your parents, but you always. I mean, those two examples, that's a choice. You can tell your parents, no, I'm going to do my own thing, or you can tell your boss, nah, no, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm doing what I feel is comfortable. But try to try to deny the big man upstairs. Mm, there are always some sort of consequence for that. You know, a lesson you might end up learning. Things might not go your way. That kind of stuff. But you can sit down and lay out a course of your life and say this is what my life's going to be, and do anything and everything in your power to make it so. But if big man upstairs says no, that's not what I want for you, ain't no fighting it. I mean, there are so many times I've tried to plot out my course of life, or what I wanted to be. I mean, as kids, we fantasize about being the firefighter, or the policeman, or the soldier, or the doctor. But your life is already predetermined upon your birth, and you might want to be one of the big, flashy type jobs, thinking you're gonna be that person, and then you end up being me, a grocery clerk. I'm not saying that my job is boring or mundane or a low level type job or career or whatnot, but you know what? It has its purpose and it fulfills its purpose. You know, I'm like my cousin Philip. We both like serving people. We both like helping our community. Now, he wanted to be highway patrolman. It didn't work out that way. So he became a car salesman. And he's a darn good one from what I hear. I don't live in his area, so I don't know. All I see is his rewards and his shows, his letters of appreciation and whatnot. Hey, that's great. I'm the type of person that, yeah, I want to help my community, but I don't want to be recognized. I want to be one of those unsung heroes. And I learned back in New York that just because you have a deli clerk job or a um, cashier job, or something that's not, it might not produce a lot of money, even though you work hard at it and you earn it and you feel good the fact that you earn the money you got because it's hard earned money. Um, but it's also one of those jobs that a lot of people don't think about as being important. Well, wrong. If it wasn't for the deli clerk, the cashier, the butcher, the baker, the various people who work in that grocery store or your local gas station or one of those type of jobs, where would you get your lunch meat? Where would you get your chopped meat? Where would you get your produce? Where would you get that loaf of bread? Let alone who would you hand the money to pay for it? You know, it's those people that most others don't even think about as being essential or important. Well, this pandemic has proved otherwise. This pandemic has proven that if it wasn't for the grocery store people or the gas station people, everything would go really bad real quick because grocery stores are closed because of a pandemic. Where am I going to get my lunch meat? Where am I going to get my food for my family? It's either A, you learn how to hunt and be a good gardener, or, it's one of those things where it's like you don't think about it until something like this happens, and you go, wow. everything is closed. The restaurants are closed. Bookstores are closed. Basically, everything but the essential people are working. Wait a minute. Essential people are working? My grocery store is open. They must be something important about them because they're open. They're working. It was like after Hurricane Sandy, after the area that I lived in and worked in while I was in New York opened back up 2, 3 days after Hurricane Sandy went away, basically. Um, my store, I worked at a grocery store, and they called me up like the second day of me being back in my home trying to clean it up, asking if I'd be willing to come in for a little extra money per hour to help clean up the store so they can get it back open. Did I say no? No, I looked at Jeri-Ann and said, "Can you handle this by yourself? The store wants me to come and help them clean up so we can get it up and running." And of course, Jeri-Ann was like, "Yes, sure, if you want to. It's up to you." I wanted to make sure she was going to be okay by herself in that house. Because to me, it was just like, yeah, a lot of stuff got lost, a lot of stuff got damaged. But I only had maybe 11, 12 years worth of my life in that house. She had her entire her entire 40 some odd years of living at the time in that house, in that one house. So it was more devastating on her than me. For me, it was more frustration and aggravation and just, you know, never happened to me before. So whether you're an essential person or a non-essential person, um, there is a purpose for you. Housewives, the purpose of a housewife. The I don't know if it would be the technical definition or whatnot, but most women who don't work outside the house, I shouldn't say women because nowadays it's also men. The person who basically doesn't have to work outside their home. You want to call them a housewife or would the term house husband be wrong? But anyhow, the person who stays home to take care of the house, they're they've got a very important role there because they've got to basically help clean the house, help maintain the house. If you've got kids, help raise kids. You're home most of the time, so if you've got non-school kids, you're taking care of them while taking care of the house, while making sure everything is, you know, meals are prepped or cooked or whatnot for the family when they all get together at the end of the day. That's an important role. I mean, back, I don't know when it all started changing, and I don't want to sound bad, but back in the good old days when the wife, her main job was to be at home, be a housekeeper, be a child care person, be a cook for the husband, things like that, while the was supposed to be out in the workforce doing what he had to do to earn money to pay for everything. Now, in modern day times, it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female who's basically home caring for everything. Um, Times change, which is inevitable. But that individual person who stays at home to deal with everything that's at the house, I can only imagine how difficult it might be, especially if you've got more than one child. A 4+ bedroom home with two bathrooms, a kitchen, a dining room, a living room and maybe even a family room or a great room, whatever you want to call it in your home, to try to take care of that all day long while the other person is away doing their work stuff, it's got to be difficult. I mean, I remember before I got married, um, after we moved here to Missouri, me and mom lived together in a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house with an eat in kitchen and a living room. And because I was unemployed at the time, I did my best to try to take care of the house. Every room except for mom's room or the mom's bedroom bathroom that was up to her. And I did my own laundry for the most part. There are times where mom was like, "If you have any laundry, since I'm doing mine, throw it in. We'll just throw it together." And I was like, "All right, whatever." It was yet wasn't difficult. It was because mom worked from home. She was a medical transcriptionist who worked in our home, and the third bedroom was basically turned into an office area. She had her work computer. I had my computer. Mostly, I was gaming at the time. And granted, even though it was hard, I maintained that. I maintained a fairly good house. Um, Not saying I was a good person or anything like that, because I should have been trying to get a job, and even at that age, how old was I? Mid mid 20s, mid 20s, and I finally found out that if I filled out the right paperwork and get a grant to go to school, and I tried to go to school. I did a year's worth of architectural design classes. It was supposed to be a 2-year program. I only made it through 1 year, mostly because of money. Um, then I found out through my church that I could go to Ozark Christian College, filled out the paperwork, went. The money wouldn't have run out because it was a full pay type situation. Now I would have had to pay the money back after I got out of school, which took me a while to do. I only got through 1 year. Sounds like a pattern, kind of not. And basically, I was told by my I don't know what you call it, but counselor maybe, I don't know. But I was told that if it wasn't for my grades, that I probably would have been able to continue on the grant, because the grant specified you had to have a certain grade point average. Well, see, the problem is the scores for college, which was not known to me, is based on primarily on your test scores. And all my professors said the same thing. If it wasn't for those tests, I would have aced every course I had. And that's when we discovered that I had, after 20 some odd years of trying to figure out what was wrong with me, educational wise, um, found out that I had, um, my professor, Professor Zusiak, interesting name, Professor Zusiak said that if he could have given me oral, done oral tests instead of actual written tests, that I probably would have gotten good grades, would have been able to pass tests. Because the paperwork grades were okay. It was the the way he put it was the pressure of trying to do this under a time limitation was what got me. And I was like, yeah, I know. I've always had some sort of weird, it's there, but it doesn't want to come out when there's a time limitation or a limitation on, yeah, time limitation. So I probably would have I probably would have been able to do my bachelor's degree in I can't remember what course I was taking at the time. Oh, I was aiming for either I had basically it was a major in philosophy and a minor in um, missionary. And I had at least 1 year to change it because the courses I was taking the first year could have been used for anything. And I think it was halfway through the first year, I was like, after I studied up on a lot of the missionary type people, I was like, well, if I go for missionary, I'm not going to Asia or Africa. I would go to Europe, maybe South America. Thought about Australia or the South Pacific area, anyhow. But there was too many variables that just made me like cautious because of all the stories about missionaries in Africa, missionaries in South America, even missionaries in certain parts of Asia, basically being incarcerated and tortured and then even put to death because of their faith. And I was just like, I don't know if I can face that. It's one of those things where it's like, I can face certain things, but when it comes to certain other things, it's like, torture? No, 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 no. Death? I had not been afraid of death in so many years since I was 16 that it was just like, if I'm dying for a worthy cause, so be it. But yeah, things didn't turn out. But anyhow, I went off again and became long winded. I'm sorry. I'm surprised I didn't have a coughing spasm somewhere in between there. But anyhow, today's going to be another cleaning work day. Um, yeah. For those of you who might be disturbed by this little crack, let me know because then I will either try to do my next video on either the. I wonder if I can do it on the actual Mac, the actual computer that has a camera. I just haven't figured out how to use it yet. Or I can use my, well, I shouldn't say mine, but it's our um, tablet, our Apple tablet. I don't even know what it's called anymore. But anyhow, just give me your opinion on this. Hopefully, this will only be short lived because I have a new camera that should be arriving at the end of this. Well, they said shipping could be as early as the 25th or as late as the 29th. So if it ships on the 29th, it takes 7 regular days. So it'll be the end of this month, sometime early July, I hope. Because last time we did a shipment and it took almost 30 days to get to me, and I was very unhappy. But anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, except for the crack, give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, or your feeling about this little thing here, go ahead and put it in the comment box. Yes, I'm asking for your opinion on should I try to do a different camera or try to flip it over and do it backwards and hope I don't just record the door. Um, that was funny. Um, if you're not a member yet and you want to be, just hit the subscribe button and YouTube will pop up a bell that you can click on and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. And until next time, Have a good day. God bless. Bye.